this you can't prove, you can't disprove.
Well, I can't disprove it if you cannot prove it. You know?
I could get you a video of David Blaine doing magic. You can't disprove that he wasn't really channeling dark energies and doing real magic.
The problem is, P1000, at this point, you have not proved it.
Well, I got video that shows cars across the lake at 14.5 miles. So the only thing I came on here is to ask you guys for something. If you guys have, like, your, you know, close to your maximum refraction rate for a distance of 15, 30, and 60 miles. And the reason I asked for 3 is because it seems like all the Globers I talk to and write down this information, letting them know that I'm writing it down. You guys all want to agree and try to twist the guidelines for the 15-mile video, but you won't answer what the curve or what your curve is for a 30 and a 60 mile. So what I'm asking,
just go online and figure it out. You don't argue the 8 inches per mile squared thing, do you?
Well, let me ask you this, Peterson. If you got a 100-foot beach ball and you go 17 feet off that beach ball, is there not a mathematical formula that tells you how far out that beach ball you are? You're going to tell me it's measured in degrees.
No. So you guys need to stop using the 8 inches per mile squared thing. Can I tell you why?
No. Can you explain to me on what I just asked you? How do you look at that? If you got a 100-foot beach ball and you go 17 feet off that beach ball, is there a mathematical formula to tell you how far you're off that beach ball? It's a yes or no answer.
Yes, but you don't want to use this logic, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, so if you got something that's 25,000 miles in diameter, how do you mathematically get to a diameter and a calculator for the curve? How do you do that? You got something different than everybody else?
You can use Earth curvature calculators, but you do not want to use 8 inches per mile squared, not because it's an inaccurate, not because it's not a good approximation. It's a good approximation, but it completely betrays what you're trying to compare. And I can explain it to you. The 8 inches per mile squared thing gives you this. We call that a tangent line, right? So it's a line from on the surface extending outward. That's not what we do when we make observations. When we make observations, you're off the ground looking. So that is always completely inappropriate. In order to make that match, you have to compare what can you see when your head is like literally on the ground and the earth is a perfectly smooth surface with perfect curvature.
So let me ask you this. What formula do you use on a 25-foot beach ball?
I don't do calculations on 25-foot beach balls.
Or you can't or you won't?
I don't know what the formulas are. Like, I play guitar. I don't know how to play Wonderwall, but if I looked up the chords, I could play it. So I don't know what this formula is. So, like, if you're just trying to insult my intelligence and be like, you don't even know, then
I'm just saying for the basics, you won't accept 8 inches per mile, whether it's off by a couple of points or off, but you won't accept that for a diameter for
because these are not observations that we make. We make observations from above the ground looking at things. This always betrays that. You will always, by doing 8 inches per mile squared, it is set up to always say that, oh, it should be below this much, because it's completely dishonest. It's like
there's so many observations out there, Peterson. I just have to ask sometimes. You seem like a pretty smart
for example,
guy,
looking south and everybody being able to see the same thing when they look south, which is impossible in Pizza Land.
Yeah, call it what you like. You just don't accept the Earth curve calculators.
Hold on, P1000. So I'm holding up a bottle cap that's round. What you're using as a measurement would basically be me putting my head down like this, flat to the object. That's not what we do on Earth, right? So when you're on Earth, you're standing slightly above. So you're always looking past the curvature and slightly down it. So you're always going to see objects that are falling below the horizon as you are higher than the horizon. You're not laying flat on a ground with a flat object.
Okay, so if I was trying to build a
real quick
something straight,
I'm not trying to be rude. I just want to make this point because I actually didn't explain this super well. Your 8 inches per mile thing, what that is it tells horizon is where you are standing. And obviously that's not how it works. Because we have observer height, the horizon is downrange from you, and then I didn't draw my line very, very well, but the line should go off the surface over here. So the 8 inch, when you use 8 inches per mile squared, the problem is there is no horizon when you do those. Well, I mean, there is, but it's where you're standing. And that's the huge problem with why you can't use it for real observations. So you can unmute yourself whenever you want. Oh, maybe it won't let you for some reason. Here, let me... There.
I'm just saying, if you're trying to build a bridge for 10 miles, wouldn't you somewhere along the line try to, right from the beginning, trying to figure out what your curve is?
For 10 miles? Maybe.
Yeah, if you're trying to build something straight, like a straight building, they're building some huge buildings out in China right now. They plan on attaching these things together, coming up with a huge mile span. And I'm just asking you, so if you're an engineer and you're going to build something that's just say 3-4 miles long, you would not have anything to do with the Earth curve calculator. Actually, that shouldn't even be on Google is what you're saying. That's nowhere even close to what gets you anywhere close to what the circumference or diameter of the Earth is for a curve. That's what you're saying.
I don't know what you just said.
You're telling me not to use the Earth curve calculator. You see, you can't.
I never said that. I said don't use 8 inches per mile squared.
Well, then what is it? Can I ask you that?
I don't know the formula off the top of my head, but there are Earth curvature calculators that you can use that are free. I can grab one right now. You want me to?
Well, they're on Google. They're all over on Google.
Yeah, so are you saying that Earth curve calculators are wrong or what?
No, I believe that if you've got a diameter and you've got numbers for that diameter circumference, which we get from NASA, and if you were to go and do something on a 10-mile span, whatever it is, you would be looking for a curve. You would mathematically get your math out and you'd figure out what that curve is in 10 miles, would you not? So, I mean, that's what the Earth curve calculator kind of gives us on Google, but it seems like you guys want to change that or not give it any credit or any merit. So I'm just asking, what is your Earth curve calculator? If I give you a diameter, to say the same as NASA does in the circumference, what is your Earth calculator? What do you, if you're just roughly looking at the Earth and talking about objects 10, 20, 50 miles out, what is your Earth calculator? What do people go to then if they can't use that?
This is the formula you need to use right here.
Yeah, but I'm not interested in like doing the formulas or whatever. You can go in your backyard and prove that the Earth is not flat. It's not even hard to do.
I go in my backyard and I got a lake. I could prove that it's straight. It's flat.
A small lake probably won't have noticeable changes in elevation from one side to the other.
I've got a 15-mile lake, and none of you globies have been able to pick that video apart yet, Peterson. You haven't been able to.
Most of them, if I showed you a magic trick, you wouldn't be able to pick it apart. Okay? Because I don't know how they're doing magic, and I don't know how you set up your thing. I don't care. I can go to the ocean and see the horizon. If the Earth is flat, there can't be a horizon. The horizon is the top of the curve.
That seems like that's half the problem, Peterson, is maybe you're calling it a magic trick. In reality, it isn't a magic trick. Maybe you're the one that's being bluffed.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about the simple facts of what I said before. None of you guys want to use the Earth curve calculator, but
I don't need to use an Earth curve calculator. Right. I can go to the ocean, or I can look south. You and I can go look south and prove that the Earth can't be flat. Not just that it's unlikely, but it's literally impossible. Because on a pizza world, when people are looking south, they're looking in opposite directions. But on a globe, when you look south, you're looking toward, you're not really looking at the South Pole, but you're both pointing toward the South Pole. And then the sky above that South Pole is the same thing. So when you both look there, you see the same thing. That is literally impossible on a flat Earth. It's a physical impossibility.
It seems like you're drifting off this Earth curve calculator. That's what it seems like to me. Like you don't want to give any.
I don't use the Earth curve calculator to do anything, and I don't need it.
Question. Let's take the globe off the picture. Can we just talk some simple math here? Can we just talk about a 100-foot beach ball? Can we just talk about that for 1 minute? You can't because you're going to have to come up with a formula, and you're not going to agree to that formula. You're going to twist it all around because
I don't know what your prepackaged argument is. Okay, so do you see this right here? Can you see this? P1000?
Yeah, it's on GitHub on Google Earth. I see it just about daily.
Yes, it is GitHub. So, yeah, well, now my hand can't go through this. But anyways, you're standing over here. You look, and that is your horizon, okay? That is, in fact, what we see, like if you go to the ocean, right?
So, you know what? Let me ask you the same question that I ask a lot of Globers. If I'm at a 4-foot camera level, how far off the lake would it be before you wouldn't see a person standing in a boat fishing that's about 8 feet, their head's about 8 feet out of the water? Can you give me a distance on that? Is that difficult that you guys couldn't give me a distance on that right now? And if I need to be more frank about it, I'll tell you just 12 people have answered the question. None of you matched up. I'm more than happy to tell you their names and their measurements. But right now, with all these 300 people on here, 359 people has grown substantially. I'm asking you right now, Peterson, that question.
Your camera is 4 feet off the ground on a tripod?
Yep. And I'll prove that with tape measure on the shoreline. Yep. And then
how far away was the boat?
Well, that's what you're going to tell me. How far away is that boat where I won't be able to see any part of the people standing in the boat and fishing, and their heads will be at an 8-foot height maximum?
So how far away do they need to be where I cannot see them if the tallest part of the boat is 8 feet?
Yeah, when will you start losing them to where you couldn't see like half their bodies or whatever?
So I have to, that's really annoying because I have to do guess and check for that.
Yeah, you know, I just use a simple Earth curve calculator, but you guys got some other different type of formula on there. So that's why I'm asking you. We've now got almost 400 people on here, and that's the same question. I'm just asking you.
So if the eye height is 4 feet and the target distance is 6 miles, then the target hidden height, according to this, says 8.4 feet.
Correct.
Yeah, and if there are any waves on the ocean, then that, or the lake, then that will lift them up several feet. So you'd be able to obviously see parts of the boat.
No, all my videos show it pretty calm, pretty calm. I'm showing boats out there 9 to 10 miles.
We don't have your video, so we can't go over this. But once again, if I showed you a video of a magic trick and asked you how did they do it, you probably wouldn't be able to figure out how they did it. But to treat that as a concession that, oh, so you're saying magic is real then, is just very dumb. The thing that's really frustrating with talking about flat Earth stuff is you guys can't explain anything that's even elementary simple. So you do these really dumb, convoluted things. So we're only going to talk about one thing. When people look south on a pizza planet, they would always be looking in different directions, meaning if you ask them what is directly above you if you look south, they will always be pointing to different things. That never, ever happens, except maybe with people that don't know how to tell where south is. So how do you reconcile the fact that that is the case?
Well, if you want to see a boat that's 9 miles out there, I can show you that right now. Or is it that you don't want to show the video?
So the question was, on a pizza world, everybody looking south is always looking in different directions. It's radial, right? So how come people looking south see the same thing when on a pizza world, that's physically impossible? So go ahead and answer that question.
I'm not going to answer your question. You can't even give me a calculation to come up with the circumference of the Earth.
I don't need one because we can prove that the Earth isn't flat.
And here you are, Peterson. Peterson, you're exactly like the other Globies on here. You know that? You won't even show a video showing all your people, 466 people. Follow P1000. I'll go live after he kicks me off here in about a minute or two, because he probably will, and I'll show you my videos pulling boats up. I'm showing him right now on my camera, but he won't turn it on. And
that video you showed, you were, I don't know if the first one is what you're talking about with the really blue water.
Which one do you want? Do you want to see water towers? You want to see boats on a lake? You want to see a bar?
I want you to tell me how, despite the fact that we know, I want you to tell me how, despite the fact that we know if Earth is flat, then south is a different direction for everybody, why people see the same thing when they look south.
South is an Arctic circle that holds our ice water, and
the question was, how is it that despite the fact,
I'm not going to answer your question because you couldn't answer.
Despite the fact that if everybody looked south on a pizza planet, they would be looking in different directions. Why is it that everybody always sees the same thing when they look south?
See, here's the same thing. You guys want to play these games? Ask us.
So the question is, how is it that people always see the same thing when they look south when that's impossible on a pizza planet?
He's going to use it to block me. Watch this, guys, because if I don't answer this question, because he won't answer my question, he's going to keep getting a mute button. Go ahead,
I'm not going to
show the 500 people. Show them what you really are in your heart. Show them. Go ahead and mute me again, because you can't handle a conversation, Peterson. You've asked the same questions 5 times. I'm not going to answer your question. There's an Arctic Circle.
Then why should I talk to you?
Well, why should you keep muting me? I can't even talk to you. You don't even play fair. You won't show a video. You won't show a video of a boat 8 or 9 miles out there right now.
Interrupting cow. So, why will you not answer the question? Is it because I won't answer your question?
Exactly. You don't have any type of a formula for a curve for anybody in the world to figure out any type of a building project or anything. You think that the 8 inches per mile.
That's fine. Let's just say that that's true. I can't do your convoluted math problem or whatever.
Okay, here's the deal. You know what? I'm not going to sit here.
There is no deal. That's fine. Just be like, I got Peterson there. That's fine. You can't answer elementary questions, okay?
I'd like to end this on a handshake right now. I'd like to end it on a hand.
You can't answer elementary questions. Why is it that when we look south, we see the same thing?
We do. We see the Arctic Circle. We see the ice wall.
No, you don't.
South, yes, we do.
Okay, so I can't.
I'm not going to.
I know that you're not. I know that you're not answering this question because you can't.
Here's the deal, Peterson. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and go.
This obliterates your worldview. I get it. So somebody in the southern tip of Africa and somebody on the southern tip of South America.
Oh, Peterson, quit wasting your breath.
If they if they both look south, they can point to exactly the same thing, the Southern Cross constellation, or maybe the moon is lining up with them to the south.
Mute.
Are you 12 mentally?
You're 12. You can't handle a single conversation.
Look at this. You just said, I know you are, but what am I? You unironically embodied exactly what I was saying.
Old,
I asked
Peterson, you. Are you 12 years old?
You just did it again. You just did, I know you are, but what am I? So, yes, mentally and emotionally, you are less than 12 because you can't think of anything to say other than, nuh-uh, you are. Like you're literally sitting here doing, I know you are, but what am I? Who does that? What kind of adult with a diesel greasy voice like yourself says things like that? What kind of pathetic adult does that?
Bro. You are one of the biggest jokes on here. I'm starting to realize.
And you don't know why people look south and see the same thing.
Telling you about a curve.
I know you are, but what am I? 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 Your brain doesn't work because I asked you, are you 12 mentally? And you said, are you 12 mentally?
So anybody in the box, I'm going to go ahead and show these videos on a live right now. And then you guys can all turn me in and get this count closed up. That's okay. I got another one. Obviously, you can't get in with Peterson. He doesn't think the Earth curve calculator on a diameter circumference even exists. He doesn't think there's a formula for it. So I'm going to...
And you don't know why people look south and see the same thing. You refuse to answer the question because you know you can't because it obliterates your worldview.
We look south far enough, we would see the Arctic Circle. That's what we would see. You can't understand the concept of that, so there's no sense talking to you about it.
I can't believe how fucking stupid you are. So, 2 people, thousands of miles apart.
Now, if you guys want to see the video, I'm going live.
2 people, thousands of miles apart, when they look south, yep, he's gone.